Hey guys, Dark Gray here. I know it's been a hot minute since my last upload, but with all the quarantine stuff going on and recently starting work back up, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has kind of taken a back seat. The nice thing about having been so busy lately with life and work though is I've been able to pick up a lot of the remaining pieces for some deck profiles I really want to show all of you. In the meantime, I'm going to make this quick deck profile for those of you who may have been interested in my 5 structured deck challenge list while we wait for the remaining cards to come in the next couple days, so stay tuned until the end of the video for a preview of what's to come. Now is a brief reminder that this entire deck profile is created purely out of 5 structure decks, with those 5 being 3 Soulburner structure decks, 2 Power Code Link structure decks, and the sole exception being 3 Salamangreat Sunlight Wolves. So for any of you who have access to 3 Wolves and these structure decks for MSRP or lower, that can be an amazing budget option to compete at a casual or semi-competitive level, specifically the local scene. With that being said, I'd love to see what all of you would do given the same card pool, so let me know what you would change or do differently in the comment section below. Starting off is one of the most important cards in the deck and what could be considered the sole reason why you would pick up the Power Code Link structure deck, and that is going to be 2 Lady Debug. This is an amazing card for the deck as one of our main normal summons that allows us to search any level 4 or lower Cybers monster and gets the entire engine moving. Next is the second most important card, which I actually have a strong preference for over Lady Debug, and that is going to be 2 Flame Buffalo. And yes, both these amazing starter cards for Salamangreats and Cybers in general came in the same structure deck, so picking up both this and Lady Debug already raises the consistency and power of the deck by a ton. Flame Buffalo will act as the other main normal summon for the deck, as it will allow you to discard a Cybers card and draw 2 cards, and depending on the hand can actually be a better option than Lady Debug. Then we have our single copy of Salamangreat Gazelle. Now, sadly, it's limited, but absolutely mandatory to run in the deck, as it is easily the best Salamangreat main deck monster. Then we have 2 Foxy as our other pseudo-normal summon, as it can dig deeper into the deck while having a great graveyard effect. Then we have our 2 Salamangreat Spinny and 2 Jack Jaguar as our options for easy 1-card Salamangreat Sunlight Wolves. Here we have 2 Salamangreat Fowl for the easy special summon and the Trickstar Light Stage effect. Finally, for Salamangreat monsters, we play the 1 Salamangreat Falco, as it's just an amazing card to recycle all of our Salamangreat cards, whether it's the bounce effect, putting, say, cards like Gazelle back into our hand, or using its effect when it's sent to the graveyard to set a Salamangreat spell or trap card back onto the field. Then, for non-Salamangreat monsters, we have our 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, because it is the best and most generic hand trap in the game that comes in a structure deck that already contains a top-tier meta deck. It's absolutely insane that we got both this and Salamangreats in the same structure deck, and really was an amazing opportunity for all the budget players out here when it first released. For newer inclusions from Power Code Link, we actually have 2 Effect Veiler, which again is an amazing hand trap that's pretty staple in the current meta considering all of the Needle Fiber or Helcafibrex combos that are running around currently. And we have 2 Skull Meister, which also comes in Power Code Link. Again, just additional hand traps that work so well in our deck, not to mention against so many meta decks, as they're really just great options and inclusions for our deck. Rounding out the monsters, we still play the 2 Dogoran in the main deck, as it's still an amazing option to help us go second through any kind of monster board. On to the spell and traps, we have the 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary and the 1 Salamangreat Circle. Both are pretty self-explanatory at this point. Then we run our 3 Will of the Salamangreat. Now this is just an amazing card for us, as Nibiru is still a thing in the meta, and any kind of revival or extra extenders are absolutely amazing for this deck. From Power Code Link, we have our 2 Forbidden Chalice, which acts as a pseudo-infinite impermanence for us, and really a great budget option considering all of the VFD combos that are floating around, and can still allow us to turn it off even if they wait until we commit a card onto the board. Then we still run the 2 Link Bound to help us recycle some of our cards and dig deeper into our deck. Then onto the trap cards, we're going to take a page out of Gabriel Susi's book, and we are going to main deck 3 Goes and Match. Now, if you're not already aware, Gabriel Susi recently won an online PPG tournament with Salmon Greats where he was playing 3 of this in the main deck. I actually really like the idea a lot because not only are the monsters we summon practically all fire attribute except for the Lady Debug, but floodgates are just so strong in this game and we can really use any help that we can get as a budget deck to help compete against some of the higher tiered decks. This card replaces a lot of the third copies of our Salmon Great monsters, which originally I was afraid of cutting back on too many names, but considering I also disliked running so many 3 of monsters to brick on, this worked out really well as an amazing option to put in our main deck and really help us push going first. For the Salmon Great trap cards, we have our single Salmon Great gift still. Originally, this was going to be a Sea Archiver from Power Code Link. However, without any rank 3 Xyz monsters to play and a majority of our Link monsters requiring a fire attribute monster, I quickly found that I wanted to cut this card in place of gift as it gives us that extra dump and potential to dig deeper into our deck. And rounding it all off, we have our 2 Salmon Great Rage and our 2 Salmon Great Roar, which are pretty standard at this point, just because we can hopefully open one of them and then search the other one off of Gazelle or any of our other options. For the extra deck, we're essentially playing the exact same monsters as the previous budget option with our 3 Salmon Great Balinks, our 3 Salmon Great Sunlight Wolf, our 3 Salmon Great Heat Leo, and then also still running our 3 Doolittle Chimera, and the 1 Flame Administrator, all for the attack boost and that nice Doolittle Chimera effect, where if it gets destroyed by battle or card effect, we can add back a fire monster from our graveyard to our hand. The last 2 inclusions, which come from Power Code Link, will be the 2 Power Code Talker. Now, funny enough, he is going to be the fire attribute Code Talker monster, so it's really nice he was included in the structure deck specifically as it already holds so much support for Salmon Greats. His effect reads that once per turn you can target 1 face-up monster on the field and negate that target's effects until the end of the turn. Also, once per turn when this card battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, quick effect, you contribute 1 monster this card points to. This card's attack becomes double its original attack during damage calculation only. So both of those are really nice, as either we can use this effect to turn off any problematic monsters our opponent may have on their field, or it acts as a great beater to get over big monsters, which this deck can sometimes have issues with. Also, since Salmon Great monsters almost all recur themselves in some way, tributing them for this effect isn't that steep of a cost. All in all, a really cool inclusion and really tops off to show how much synergy that both of these structure decks have together, which makes them so nice for budget players. For the side deck, you'll see we have some new inclusions because just like the Soulburner structure deck, the Power Code Link structure deck also has a lot of generically good cards. You'll find this to be true for most starter and structure decks, as they often don't have broken cards in them, but always a lot of generically good cards that may just be shy of seeing actual competitive play. Sometimes this may also be because they're just good cards from further back in the day. But with that being said, we have our 3 Ignimisad the Vanisher, and our 3rd copy of Dogoran and the Mad Flame Kaiju, because again, these are just amazing cards to help us go second, that can help us get rid of any problematic monsters on our opponent's board. Then we have the 1 Salmon Great Pero for playing into time, and our 3 Threatening Roar for any OTK matchups, or just being able to survive that extra turn, because again, if we can get our engine rolling, it's really hard for our opponent to beat us with the card advantage that we'll be building. Then our 3 Transmigration Prophecy from the last list, because again, being able to shuffle back cards from the graveyard and disrupt our opponent is so amazing in the current meta, with so many decks relying on the graveyard in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! For the final inclusions that are coming from Power Code Link, we have our 2 Trap Stun, which is a great tech card against trap-heavy decks like Eldritch and the recently released Altergeist that will be running all around this new meta. And finally, our 2 Debunk. as our final inclusions from Power Code Link as a great sidecard option for any deck that relies on effects in the hand or the graveyard, which is pretty much all of them. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this quick little deck profile. I really enjoy doing things like this because I know the struggle of a limited budget when you want to play as competitively as you can. And what I love most about this is when you're able to really make a deck function with all the budget tech options you run that allow you to still compete with some of the more expensive and competitive deck builds out there. And that's why I love Salamangreats as a budget option in this sense, as you will literally open hands that look identical to the opening hands of decks that are, say, $100 plus, because everything you need centralizes around the archetype cards and allows you to do everything you need. So I really hope that you enjoyed everything, and let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. As for the updates I mentioned at the beginning of the video, yes, I will, in fact, be uploading more content very soon. I have 3 different deck profiles, in fact. All the cards I need for the deck profiles should be arriving the same day that you see this video uploaded. And as for a sneak peek of what's to come, you'll be getting deck profiles on the newly unlimited Necros of Unicorn, my personal competitive Salamangreat deck profile, finally, after doing all of these budget salad lists, and a very spicy cubic synchro deck profile that, if you've already joined our Cubic Discord, which I'll link in the description box below, you may have seen myself and some other members testing and working on it for the past little while. So hopefully you'll stay tuned to see all of these upcoming deck profiles, which I will be planning on putting out throughout the next couple of weeks. With that being said, I hope you're all doing well. I really do. Times are tough and confusing for many out there, so just know that my thoughts are with all of you. I really look forward to gameplay resuming for the TCG as soon as possible, and I'm holding out hope that YCS Minneapolis will still be happening, as I will plan on attending if it does happen, and I hope to see any of you there if possible. Thanks again for watching, and take care everyone. Peace.